Hey guys, welcome back to the garden. So sorry I haven't posted anything for about 3 months or more. It's been a dark and wet and windy winter, and we've had a round of Omicron, as most of you probably have, and we've been renovating, and now it's February 23rd, and it feels like spring is here. So I wanted to sort of show you a little bit about the general state of the garden. But first of all, I wanted to show you some storm damage that we had in the garden. This is an old pear tree that was really tall, like 6 meters tall, and it had my favorite rose growing up on it. And it fell along with another old fruit tree. It fell in a storm that we had about a month ago. Fortunately, the wonderful guys that cut it up and chopped it up for us, they were able to save the rose, meaning that they couldn't really do anything about it, but they managed to cut all the branches without actually cutting the rose. So this is my favorite rose. It's cascades of white, creamy, lovely scented blossom when it comes in early summer, and I just can't cut it. So we are going to leave it like this and allow it to blossom, and then I will cut it back and sort of try to arrange it between these two garden spaces, so that it can just keep the spaces like this in the middle. But I have to leave it. I know it doesn't look great, but I have to see the blossom before I can cut it back. That's how it is when you are a flower nerd. So an apple tree. It was really old and it wasn't giving a lot of pears, but it actually did have that wonderful function with the rose. Anyways, part of this garden wall also fell. Fortunately, we have insurance, so we can have this rebuilt, and actually it's a nuisance. And we have to sort of clean it up, but it's not the worst. This can be rebuilt. I think I'm more, it cuts me more with the old trees that fell, because they have a real presence and they can't be replaced. So that's how it is. So if you come in, this is the last of the pear tree, and of course this also has to be cleaned up. And there was a plum tree, a lovely plum tree, that also fell in the same storm. Fortunately, it didn't hit the house, so we are really grateful for that. But anyways, that's how it is. It pains me, but when trees fall in the garden, it also means that suddenly there's more light and new opportunities sort of appear, and I will have to think about what I do about that. Lots of more flowers, I think that's the first thing. I think more light, more flowers, and we'll see, maybe planting another tree that would be lovely in this space. This is part of the retreat gardens. So this is usually where people have breakfast and soak up the sun in the summer, and just enjoy all the bees and butterflies and birds in this space. And this also, I mean, I did a whole video dedicated to these favorite early flowers. These are Helleborus orientalis, and I mean, they make me happy all day long. So on good days I come out and just have a look at how beautiful they are, and they are self-seeding and just filling up this space more and more, and I really enjoy it. So that's one of the great joys of early spring. Lots of snowdrops, and as you can see, the pond is very, very full. We've had lots of wind, lots of rain, so everything is saturated. And over here on this side, you also see the storm has just pulled down a lot of branches, so we need to clear that up. That's always this time of year, lots of things to do, but hey, that's okay. I hope you can also see that there are actually already a lot of flowers in the garden. We are coming up on this. This is the southeast corner of our plot. So we have a huge granite Buddha statue sitting here among all the snowdrops and all the erantis. I don't know, maybe they are erantis, maybe they are something else, but I'm sure you know these early yellow flowers. There's one thing that always amazes me with these really early flowers. I mean, no insects are out, hardly any. I haven't seen any yet. But they are scented, so they must hope that maybe one small bee will wake up and visit. And I mean, they would do on warmer days, but it hasn't been warm enough for that to happen yet. At least I haven't noticed. But anyway, you can see again, there's a drain coming down from the farmer's fields here, and it's draining into this. And it really is a lot of water in the garden. It's almost drowning the trees. So I'm hoping that we will see less rain in the next couple of weeks. But I think it's really rather lovely with the Buddha here and all the early flowers, and it's like the historical Buddha just sitting among the trees, meditating and enjoying nature. So it's a lovely spot. Anyway, this is our private part of the garden, and I just wanted to pass through and take you to the food forest, because we actually have too much water here in the food forest, meaning that it's hard for me to start working to cut back and clear up, and it's too wet. And luckily the storm didn't really affect the food forest much, but this is always a really busy time of year, and I like to start to cut back. And right now I think it's just everything is too wet. And if we have a look at the small pond that we have here in the food forest, it is almost full to the brim, meaning that some of the trees will actually have their roots in water. This is groundwater level as it is now, and this is the lowest point in the food forest. And we dug this because we know that water collect here, so we dug it deeper, and just to have a place for the water to seep through. The reason why I also took you over here is because I wanted to explain that water, of course, is super important, and it's lovely that it's there, But the problem is this time of year that we are sitting on a thick layer of clay, and once the clay is saturated, it's really, really hard and very slow to get rid of the water. The water is simply not seeping, it's not going anywhere, it's just sitting there. And when I start working in the garden, I can feel how when I walk, when I sit on my knees, I feel how I am compacting the soil because it's so wet. So I actually prefer not to do so much in the food forest before we've had a few weeks of drier weather. So hopefully, maybe we can have a look down here, because I tried to pull out a tree this morning, and this, let me see, it's hard to get around because I haven't, well, the storm messed up all of these and they have to go anyway, but when you have this much water, and I mean, of course there's the clay layer and then there's the topsoil layer, but the topsoil layer varies, and when you have this much water in the clay layer, maybe you can hear it. If I tried to pull this out because this tree died, but you hear how much water is actually in here, and it's almost like suction, so it's harder to pull things out. And that's another reason why I actually prefer to wait a little bit until the water subsides. But I also wanted to show you that the tree tops we put from the two trees that had fallen from the storm, we put through the threader, and I just put them on the pathways. So I think it's a lovely way to sort of make a circle. The trees are not dying, they are just recycled into the circle of life, giving nutrients to the garden. So I think it's a lovely way. Nothing leaves this place. Everything is just building and building and building. So you should never get rid of any of this organic material. There are so many ways to use it, and this is one of them. So yeah, that's about the state of the garden right now. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.